Coming up next, I have someone who's actually on my team. I rescued him from a company that starts with O and rhymes with Horacle. He's a Java champion. He's going to tell us some stories. Mark Heckler.
Hey. Thank you. And now for something completely different, right? This is me. I'm going to be talking a little bit about developing for the Pebble and controlling cloud apps from your wrist. More details Thursday. And if you understand the reference at the bottom, extra points. So, OK, so what is a Pebble? Well, it was the first smartwatch. Came out, kickstarted in 2012, released 2013, e-paper screen, low res, works with all kinds of phones, and it has an insane battery life, so it's very useful in many ways. Kind of a brief history. First came out very low tech, and then they added a steel model, a little more upscale. They've added other models that are a little more upscale yet, and now they have just released or will be releasing fancier yet. Still fairly bare bones compared to some of the competitors. The competitors include Apple Watch, which works well with iPhones, Android Wear, which works well with Android phones, and Pebble watches, which work pretty much well with everybody. Again, not quite as sophisticated in the interface, but very robust. So as a developer, why do I care? Well, you write once, sort of. It runs with Android or iOS phones. You can write in C or JavaScript, so your options are pretty good. And the battery life, again, is very key for resource-intensive apps. For the Pebble SDK, you can work with your desktop IDE, Android Studio or Xcode appropriately. You also have the option of a cloud IDE, and you can write in C, which runs on the watch directly for watch faces and things like that. Pebble.js, still in beta, has been in beta for a long time, but very solid and sound. You can use it with your desktop IDE, but you can also use it with a cloud IDE, which is kind of preferred. This runs on the phone, so you get the full phone capabilities, full access to a lot of different things. The primary file is app.js. You can obviously have others, but as you might be able to tell, it's just plain JavaScript with a lot of different options available to you as a developer. Several main objects that you get for free, so to speak. The UI framework gives you access to the accelerometer, voice dictation, various windows, elements, drawing elements, vibration, and the light. You can hook into the timeline interface, and you can schedule app activation via wake-up. The various window types include dynamic windows, which means you can do pretty much anything you can write. And then a card, which displays a title, subtitle, banner, image, and text. And then a menu, which, displays a menu. You have access to a variety of standards and conventions, just right out of the box again. So you can do HTTP requests. You can basically this gets you a lot of access to a lot of REST APIs, right? As well as WebSocket. And several other things as well, but this kind of opens the door to any kind of communication that you might possibly be able to think of and need to integrate with cloud apps, for example. So very nice, very handy. I have one of these running right now, as a matter of fact. This is a look at the cloud IDE, fairly basic IDE, but it kind of covers all the high points. You have settings, you have GitHub integration. You also have an emulator that you can run directly on your laptop. This shows, that's horribly blurry, but use your imagination. This shows kind of what it looks like when you pull up the code. You do get the syntax highlighting and all of that, as you might expect. Again, not overly frilly, but it gives you the capabilities you pretty much need. The emulator allows you to run your application directly on your laptop. It installs. You have access to the logs, so you can see as menus are navigated, as communication takes place between your watch and phone and upstream. You can also push to the actual watch itself. If your phone is on the same Wi-Fi network as your laptop, it will push directly to the phone/watch. You can still monitor your logs, so you can navigate and see what's going on, which is very helpful in debugging. Quick look at an application I've written, which allows me to control my renewable energy system in St. Louis from my wrist, monitor and control some of the various graphic elements and text elements, just as an example. And then next up, we have a menu, which you can have menu items that are dependent upon other menu items. So when it's in autonomous mode, I can't toggle anything else. When I pull it out of autonomous mode, then I can affect everything else. So it's fairly Spartan, but it works very well. Here are some useful links. They are in my slide presentation. You're probably not going to have a chance to get them now, but if you want them later. by all means, good forum, excellent resources you can have at your disposal. And again, it's JavaScript. And finally, in conclusion, IoT and cloud go together. So devices on the back end, devices on the front end, everything that ties it together is the cloud. So just like chocolate and peanut butter, it all just works. So thank you very much.